Okay, so women's empowerment is a significant topic, especially as it relates to the workplace and economy. Still, empowerment can be defined in many ways. Here with me are Hina, Faiza Jamil, Ebru, Ozaydin, who have made strides to redefine gender role in the denim industry. We'll be discussing the opportunity and challenges they've found. So here are some questions. I guess this one go to Hina. Hi, Hina.
Hi, how are you, Vivian? Good to see you.
I'm fine. Thank you so much. So I'm going just straight to the questions.
Yep.
So the question number one is that you're the first and probably the only female lead in the supply chain sector of Pakistan. Why do you think women don't make it to the top in fields that require skill like financial acumen and negotiation?
Well, there are certain factors associated with it. The basic perception is that there is a variation in the cognitive capacities of women and men, that women aren't capable enough when it comes to do some critical decision making, formalizing these strategies, leading the big teams, and they don't have that strong nerves to handle difficult situation or the work pressure. So men and women are judged very differently in a very different criteria. Even they are expected to perform differently, which is a most and the main pain point, I would say that. And they are rewarded differently for the same accomplishment. And that is the main reason for the gender pay gap as well. So when the women, they are rewarded differently for the same accomplishment, they are not provided with a rightly working environment. And when there is a structural impediments related to the women, growth, like they are not provided with a healthy and family friendly environment to work. They are not provided with proper transport to commute. They have been not provided with the child care facility. To most of the women, they end up either to settle themselves with the less or they quit. So here, the issue is not that we are talking about women issues over it. It's about the business as a whole as well, because we have got ample examples here, even in artistic milliners, which proves that when women are given the equal opportunities, they have proven themselves. We have some very potential resources in the top management, the female who are leading the main strategic departments like planning, like industrial engineering, like CSR. Faiza is leading that department, myself, then there is a lady who is leading the HR department. So, this concept, basically, it comes from the leadership. And we have been lucky enough that artistic milliners, or specifically Mr. Murtaza, has no doubtly has been a trendsetter for this purpose. And you see that at the end of the day, I feel so satisfied that whatever the accomplishment I have got so far, I have not been tested on or expected to perform on the basis of gender. I've been equally challenged. The tasks that been assigned to me that weren't assigned, keeping in view the okay, fine, she is a female, so she can do this and she cannot do this. So that was a major trust and faith the leadership is having in our female staff specifically. So these are the main reasons, I believe.
That's really good. I think this is really important for all of us, not just for
Yes.
artists and milliners. It's
Yeah.
overall, and then it's gender shouldn't be the one of the consideration.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question I have for you is your recent D&I strategy states that artisan milliner will be factoring in gender segregated data in supply rating matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think this is important?
This is very important because artistic milliner as an organization, we are playing our role, but this is not just enough, because we need to inculcate this within our whole society as a whole, and we need to influence other people's, other organizations who are associated with this, and that's why we need to make it a part of our vendor performance metrics. I'll start with the educational level. And if I talk about the degree level education, the female enrollment as of now is almost equivalent to the male enrollment. If when these female, they will get these degrees, definitely they will look out for the opportunities. So we need to ensure that enough opportunities with proper working environment and more inclusive environment must be available as a whole in a society. So we are not only, inculcating this within artistic milliners, but we are trying to influence our, vendors, all those parties who are associated with this, so that when the women, they got the equal opportunity whenever they want to pursue their career. So for me, it's very important.
It is. It is. I totally agree with you. So thank you for your answer. And then I would like to ask Faiza a couple of questions. Faiza, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Vivian?
I'm doing great. It's your afternoon there, right?
No, it's late evening.
Oh, okay. Thank
Actually,
you
you can
for.
call it almost night, but it's okay.
So, Liza, um, Artistic Miller has a pioneer women development plan for its factory workers. What are some of the initiatives you are currently engaged in, and why it takes time out of gender-related T&D is important?
Okay, so that's a very important question. Just to set the context, when you talk about production facilities or factories or mills, every minute is equivalent to profit, right? The time that is actually you are investing is money. So when people talk about T&D, training and development, most of the time they're thinking if we are going to invest in training and development, how will this translate into economic benefits? Now, that is a very justified approach, but that is not the only approach that a company should be taking. And why Artistic Millionaires has been, very much invested in gender-related T&D is not only because it translates to economic benefits, but also because if you do not give women level playing field with the men to perform, they're always going to stay behind, because the society that different genders are coming from, they place men at a certain pedestal. So if you want to equalize that opportunity for both the genders, then you need to give women some more training and development to come up. Basic life skills training such as decision making or problem solving or just being in command, or for example, if you want to assert yourself, women are generally taught at homes or in communities to be more accommodating or to step down or not to speak loudly and all. So you want to kind of re-educate them that there is a positive side to all these angles, and they need to stand up and they need to be more assertive. So that is why if you want all your workforce to be equally invested in the growth of the company, then you need to invest in gender related trainings. As far as artistic minerals is concerned, we are always pride ourselves in the fact that the company was actually built by women. That's what our chairman, Mr. Yaqub Ahmed, always tells us, that when the first factory was set up back in 70 years ago, it was generally the women workers who were employed by artistic milliners, and they were the ones who laid the foundation. And it is so deeply rooted in our DNA that it has come with us all through the 70 years, and we have always been very cognizant, always been very aware that this is a factor that we cannot do without. When this entire movement of women empowerment started, we have also strategized and formalized our women empowerment trainings, and we have also reached out to partners to work with us. So our brand partners, so Gap Inc., for example, is pioneering a women empowerment program called PACE, which is personal advancement and career enhancement. It's an year-long program, and it has all the components related to financial skills and problem-solving skills, communication skills, and factory workers go through it, and we see a very remarkable change in how they, conduct themselves after the training. So that is one program. In addition to that, we're also working with Business for Social Responsibility (BSR). We have conducted their HER project in our facility, and it is related to like peer health program, right? So that's also a very interesting concept. And then we are investing nowadays in collaboration with LSM Go Foundation in adult literacy project. So there are women generally, they do not get the opportunity to get formal education or go to schools. And when they come to factories, they face a lot of problems in terms of really utilizing their capabilities. So in our company, in every facility, you would find a classroom, like proper training rooms in which women take time out during production to come and study for themselves. So they go to different trainings of adult literacy in which they are taught how to read and write and do basic mathematics skills. Or for example, they learn about financial skills like what is budgeting, how to invest, how to, for example, take help from insurance policies. And then they do, for example, health trainings. So women health is also a stigmatized subject. There are certain topics that they are not encouraged to talk about, or they only talk about in terms of what is being passed on to them from their mothers or grandmothers. So all these stigmatized subjects are also addressed in our only women training. So there's a lot going on. And then obviously there's a mentorship program in which leaders, like for example, if I am leading a department, or my colleague Hina or Mavish or Fauzi or other ladies who are there, they also mentor other young women who are hired in the company to come up and assert themselves and assume leadership positions. So we have a program called Future Leadership Development Program, which we call FLDP. It's a talent pipeline for women, young women who want to come into the industry, and they're mentored very carefully to come up and assume leadership positions. So I think our training and development programs spans like the whole spectrum in terms of the life skills training, which also benefits women workers personally as well as professionally, and then also women who are more privileged and who want to assume more C-level positions. So that sort of covers everything.
Oh, wow. It's a big job.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's really refreshing, even though we hear about this all the time, but to hear someone actually making it a reality, make it possible, it's just really amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so next one, as an advocate of women empowerment, how are you supporting women outside your value chain?
So this is very important, and adding on to what Hina said earlier, her questions were also, I think, framed in the same way, like why she has made to the top in artistic milliners, and then what she's doing to encourage gender equity in the supply chain. And I think it's very important, because when we are advocates of women empowerment, we are not just talking about women at milliners, we are talking about women everywhere in the world. And fashion industry specifically, as you know, is largely built by women labor workers. So it is kind of extremely, I would say, ironical that they are the ones who are like really at the lower tier of, the fashion industry, and nobody gives a voice to them. So our company has really reached out to the to like really upstream in the supply chain, up to the women cotton pickers, because that's where all fashion begins, right, with the plucking of a fiber. And who does it majority of the time? So it's a woman who is extremely deprived, and nobody has ever asked them like, what do you expect from life or from your career, or is there any value of work that the pride that you take in your work? So what we have done, the intervention that we have designed, is that we are going to the cotton fields now, and we are directly interacting with women cotton pickers, and we are helping them out in whatever way we can. So there is some help related to how they work. For example, simple things, for example, the cotton picking bags that they carry, most of them use it in a way that is not very ergonomically friendly, and they get backache, or they get uh, skin infections because of that. So we have taken this step of providing them ergonomically friendly bags and gloves, that they can do their work easily. And also we are working on giving them automated hand picking devices, so their work is also made more easier. So that's what we're doing, and we're also giving them life skills training. So it's a very exciting thing from them, because nobody, very ironically, has ever asked them like, what do you want in your life, what do you want to achieve, do you have any aspirations? And many of them do have a lot of aspirations related to their families, kids, their own growth, and they have given us very honest feedbacks of what they want. So we are organizing like community schools from them, and just being there for them and appreciating that what they do for the fashion industry overall. So that's one of the interventions that we have taken. the other is also very interesting. It's related to the subsidiary company, Artistic Energy, which is owned by Artistic Milliners. And we are like, we have like wind mills or wind power plants in Karachi, in Sindh actually, in the suburb, it's like a remote area where there is a lot of indigenous women population living around the windmills. So when we were actually establishing this company, we did a very systematic gender impact assessment of how this new development is going to impact these women. So they had the women community had some certain concerns, and we addressed them, and we made sure that these women also get alternative livelihood opportunities. So we made them like, small sources of income in their own home. For example, cattle rearing or embroidery or anything of that sort in which they can, benefit. So that's what we're doing. And just to conclude my, my comment, women empowerment is a very important topic, but we also have to understand that it has like link to other issues as well. There is an intersectionality involved. So if there is a climate crisis and we are trying to solve it via windmills, the climate crisis impacts women in a different way. If there's a water crisis, the water crisis is going to impact women in a different way. So every crisis in the world has a gender angle, and we as a responsible company and as a company who has pioneered SDG 6, and we have been recognized by United Nations as the champion of women empowerment, then we make sure that every social or environmental concern that we are addressing incorporates or factors in the power, the element of gender. So that's what we do, and that's, I think, it's very, very important.
So we hear a lot of things, and then we only have a little bit of time.
I know.
But I really want to go to Ebru to give us a little bit conclusion of everything. Especially, after reading all the information that you give me, there's a new initiative that your guys working on, which I'm so interested in. It's called A.WE.SOME.
Yeah.
Ebru, can you tell us what does the A.WE.SOME mean and what does it do? What's the goal?
Exactly. So thanks to Hina and Faiza, they have already brought up all the women empowerment related initiatives that we have already been doing and the projects. So as Faiza has already mentioned, last year our leadership has been awarded by UN as a pioneer in SDG, especially for gender equality. That project was called Women at Artistic Milliners, and that has so many let's say tier of projects, a lot of let me say organizational work. And then later on, when we were talking with especially with Faiza, we were saying why we're not expanding this to multi-tier, because okay, that's the farm and factory level that he has already brought up, a Millionaire Cotton Initiative or a lot of women empowerment initiative projects. And then we come up with A.WE.SOME, because first of all, A.WE.SOME is a very awesome, positive word. And it is an abbreviation of Artistic Milliners Women Empowerment, Solidarity and Mentoring Program. And its logo is a gladius flower, or in other words, they call it sword lily. And the overall meaning of sword lily is, regardless of its color, it is strength and integrity. We really love the logo. We really love this meaning, because we want to cover all the, let's say, all the women groups, all the age groups in our supply chain. And for us, our gender diversity efforts are critical to realize all goals of business in different diversification, in innovation, sustainability, growth, not only in Pakistan, but also out of Pakistan. Because the thing is, although we have very valuable ladies like Faiza and Hina, and also in Karachi, our head of technical innovations in garment manufacturing is another lady from Romania. And our development and design head lives in San Francisco. So it's an international, multinational team. We're so proud that we are all, trying to help each other at the senior goals. So here with the A.WE.SOME, our goal is to get deeply connected with the other women in the denim industry. support each other, encourage each other, honor our achievements. And then the other thing is, the most important thing is for me, as mothers, sisters, grandmothers of young girls, we want to be a role model. We try to create a system, an algorithm that we want to be a role model, because this year is the year of gender equality, and UN Women brought this up. And under gender equality, there have been so many things, there have been so many KPIs that we believe we can follow, prioritize, and embed in our strategies. And the other thing is, I just want to add, we want to put it in different levels: farm to fashion level, NGO level, academics level, educational level, and last but not least, media and media level. And thank you so much, Vivian, because you're currently helping us to realize our dream as an organization of Kingpins 24.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining me and discuss about more empowerment, because it's really important for all of us. And especially, you know, like what you said, really, really inspired me. We're running short on time, so I have to wrap it up really fast. And I wish we can have another time to discuss all of this more in depth. But right now, thank you so much for coming here and joining us on Kingpins 24. Thank you. And I want to see you guys really, really soon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye.